Okay guys, so I got these out of the package. We're ready to trim them up and season them. Today we're going to use our mustard as a binder as always. And we got our pork butt rub. This recipe is on all recipes, and it's called, what's it called? You know what it's called? He doesn't know what it's called. I can't remember. Yeah, CC Ryder's rib rub. See, he knew, he just didn't want to say it. Anyway, if you look it up on all recipes, I'll put a link in the description as well. I'm going to get these trimmed up and then we'll get them seasoned. I'm going to trim them the same way I always do. I always take the fat cap off of them. I just think it gets better bark and you don't have to deal with the fat in the end. So I'm going to do that, and if you want to see how I trim them, I can put a link to that video in the description as well. Alright guys, so we got these pork butts all trimmed up. We're going to get them seasoned up, so we're going to use a binder of mustard. Like I said, the CC Ryder's rib rub. It's good on all pork. It has a lot of, it's got paprika, chili powder, a little bit of pepper, salt, and some brown sugar, rosemary. If you look up the recipe, it's got a lot of good stuff in it. I really like it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, get our mustard on there. This just helps the rub bind too. It helps you get a little better bark, I believe. Alright guys, that's all there is to it. That's how we season the pork butt. You can see I put quite a bit of rub on there. They're a big hunk of meat. They can handle it. So we're just going to let these sit for about 20-30 minutes. Soak that rub up, get it nice and wet. And then we'll get them over on the smokers. And we're going to see which one's better. Pellet smoker, the Weber, or propane. Okay guys, we're going to get these on the smoker. You look at them, you can see it's pulled a lot of the moisture out of the meat. Our rub's adhered to them. We're going to get them on there. First thing we got to do, this guy, he's going pellet smoker. I know that's where he wants to be. Alright, there he is, happy. Now we're going to run all these to 225 to 250, as close as we can hold them to 225. The pellet grill will be at 225. The others will have as close as we can get them. Okay, next one. This guy wants the Weber kettle. So if you look down in here, we got our kettle set up. We got our snake method going on here. So we have apple wood around the edges here, so that's going to give us our smoke. Get the wood back on here before we lose too much. Right now it dropped to 200, but it was at about 230, so I'm happy with that. We're just going to keep it there. This guy, he's getting propane. Now I know there's a lot of haters on propane. I started out, I smoked a lot of meat on propane, okay, to begin with, and so I think there's a place for propane, okay. It's pretty easy to use, it's pretty versatile. You can use it without electricity, and once you get the hang of it, you can kind of set it and forget it. So we're going to let this roll, and there again we've got apple wood in that one as well. And I can't remember if it was apple or cherry, but it's apple or cherry in both of them. and then we've got just competition Brent pellets in the pellet grill. That's what I always run in there. So we're gonna cook these 3 butts, and we're gonna see which one tastes the best. Alright guys, this one on the pellet grill, don't mind these others, that's for another video. 167. Bark's looking awesome on this thing. Let me pull it out of here. Look at that. I'm gonna get this thing wrapped up. Alright, so we're just gonna wrap this up in foil. Put about a half a cup of apple juice in it. And we'll do the same to the other 2. Okay, back on the pellet smoker with this one. Alright, while we're out here, we'll take a peek at this one on the Weber kettle, see where we're at. It's not looking quite as done. I don't know if you can see that, but 135. It needs to go for a little longer before we wrap that one up. Okay. Kick the camera there. I'm going to check this one in the propane. Oh yeah, we're at 158. Well, hit that again. I think I hit the bone. 160 on that one, so we're going to wrap it up too. It's looking pretty good as well. Look at that, it looks good. It's not quite as dark a bark as the pellet smoker, but it's close. Okay, same thing on this one. 2 layers of tin foil, half a cup of apple juice. I'll throw this back on the smoker. Alright guys, this kettle, this one has been on here for 11 hours. The others are both at like 205, 204, so they're coming off. I'm going to put those in a cooler, let them rest till this one's done. It looks good. Our charcoal's about burned out. We're at, I don't know if you can see that. Move that here. Looks like 159, so we're going to pull this off, wrap it up. I don't want to start some new charcoal. So since I don't want to do that, I'm just going to wrap this up. I'll put it in the pellet grill and let it finish up. I do notice the bark on this one seems to be better. So we're going to wrap this in 2 layers of aluminum foil, a little bit of apple juice, put it on the pellet smoker, because at this point all we need is some heat to break that down. Alright, we're going to put this one back on the smoker. Alright guys, so the one on the propane smoker is done. This thing's probing at 204, so we're going to pull that off. We're going to drain the juice out of it, and then we're going to put it in a cooler and let it rest. Alright guys, we're at 203 on the one on the pellet grill. So it's coming off, it's going to be drained, put in a cooler as well, till the one on the Weber kettle finishes up. I got it over in the propane smoker, because I got this other project going on over here in the pellet grill, which I'm making a video on as well. So I'm going to get these drained and put them in the cooler, and then as soon as the one on the kettle grill's done, we will come back and we'll try these out and see if it makes a difference on which cooker they're made on. I already am liking the bark of the one on the kettle grill, but let's see how they go. Alright guys, these are done. So this first one, that one was on the Weber Kettle, a lot darker bark. This one, pellet grill, better, decent bark. This one, propane, bark not so good, not as good, it's still okay. So anyway, we're going to give these three a taste test, see what we think of them. Alright guys, first up, we got Weber Kettle. It's good. Really smoky. Yeah. The pellet grill. Good bark, just like it always is when I cook it on the pellet grill. That one's got a lot more smoke flavor though. Alright, so this is what I say. Weber Kettle, it's the best. That's the best one. It tastes really good. You taste the charcoal, and you can taste, not the charcoal, but you can taste the wood, the smoke, and that a lot more. Pellet grill, you can taste the smoke in it, but it's not as much as that one. The bark isn't quite as good. This one just isn't as good. I mean, I gotta say, I cooked on a propane smoker for years, but I gotta say, it's not as good as the other two. And the Weber Kettle done a phenomenal job. It's better than both of them. So, anyway, now we know. If you like what you see, give us a like and a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.